What's going on, guys? It's back, and today we got a brand new video with Snapchat crashing the market on bad earnings and not providing any guidance for their next quarter. And they did this because advertising money was down for Snapchat, which obviously affects other companies that have advertising in their business, and that pulls down into indices and affects everything in the stock market. So we had Google get affected, Facebook get affected. Their stock price fell because obviously those are two massive advertiser friendly money making schemes where they depend on the ads to make some money. So the big question is Snapchat the leading indicator or leading factor here to say there's a slowdown in advertising, which would be a slowdown in revenue, or are they the outlier? Because if someone's going to be advertising, especially during right now where there's recession fears and maybe your ads aren't converting as well, maybe you go to the big players only, and that's where you spend your money. So the big pressure is going to come on Google and Facebook to really show whether or not advertising slowing down, because for them, if it's consolidating, it'll be good for them. They'll be getting more people competing for ads and paying money for their ads. Whereas the platforms like Snapchat, maybe even Twitter, the smaller social media sites might be draining ads, and the big guys are going to be getting them. We can see Snapchat stock right here on Robinhood for a simple view, 40% loss for the day after their earnings. Earnings was after hours, so this yesterday, Friday, they fell 40%. You can see it more clearly here how just wow, straight line down. This was their earnings, $16 a share. Earnings came out and then bam, instantly down to $10 and then just trickled even lower down to $9 right now. So, not good for Snapchat, not good for the whole market if this is a leading indicator of like ads leaving. So, it's going to be big for Google and Facebook. You see Google affected right here. They fell about 5% on the day for the same reason. You can see again, this was like Snapchat earnings came out here, they're 114, and they fell pretty hard into the next following day. Even Facebook fell 8%, almost 7.5%. And again, you see the straight line. This was Snapchat earnings and a straight line down. So not good for anybody, but I do think that maybe we could see Google and Facebook be beneficiaries of this kind of market where the ads are going to go for these companies. If you're running an ad, you're going, especially right now where ads might not be converting as well, you're going to go for Facebook, the proven ad model where you know you're going to have the best targeting that you can get with Facebook and Google. So that's where you're going to advertise. You're not going to go to Snapchat, Twitter, the smaller sites and try and advertise there where especially where your conversion rates are already down because recession fears and people not having discretionary income, then you're going to want to make sure that you give yourself the best chance possible. You're going to go to the big platforms. You're going to go to Google, YouTube, you're going to go to Facebook, Instagram, and you're going to make sure that you get the best bang for your dollar for your ads that you can, and you're going to walk away from the smaller site. If you look at overall indexes, we can see the Dow Jones fell about 0.5%, S&P down almost 1%, NASDAQ almost 2%, and then the Russell again around 1.5, almost 2%. So everything fell. A lot of it's going to Snapchat and the poor advertising for their earnings, but it's going to be Google. Let's see if we can see. Google is July 26th after hours. So we're going to get Google on the 26th. That's going to be massive to see whether or not they are affected by this, or maybe they're getting more market share of advertising and they're coming down that way. So instead, we could see that Google and Facebook get beneficiaries from this stuff. Facebook is the 27th. So we're going to have them back to back, seeing if they can actually prove that it's Snapchat that is maybe having problems and not overall advertising. And if we look at Snapchat's earnings statement that they had the other day, this is all their numbers for a bunch of stuff, but all we can do is look at, or all we can need to do is look at this bar chart here. We can see their earnings down 400. They lost $422 million. They've basically been losing money every single earnings report except for this December 30th, 2021, where they actually made money the first time ever. And then they went right back to losing money. So, Snapchat, overall, not the greatest, maybe business in general. So people are taking this to say advertising going down. Who are the big advertising companies? Google, Facebook, maybe Amazon a bit. Amazon was down off this news too. So they're trying to say if something's going wrong here and this is all the news we have, we don't have earnings for the other companies yet, then you got to put it to the other companies and front run the trade. So we'll see next week if this is actually true for Google and Facebook, but I doubt it will be. I doubt Google is going to have such a big problem that their advertising is plummeting. I think Google and Facebook are probably going to benefit from this, if anything. They're not going to, be, unless advertising overall is dead, then they're going to benefit. So if advertising is super down and people just aren't advertising, then there are going to be problems for those companies too. But people are still advertising, then these companies are going to benefit. Everyone's going to come to the big dogs. No one's going to go to the small ones. And to just push this point even further and prove that, Snapchat might not be the most reliable company to look at all this and front run things like Google and Facebook, we can look at their earnings. Snapchat, we know, has lost money consistently except for one quarter where they made $22 million. If you compare that to Google, you can see there is nothing negative about Google here. You see they made $11 billion September 29th, 2020. The latest one, March 30th, they made $16 billion. So these companies aren't even on the same playing field, not even on the same planets. So really comparing them and pushing that Google has problems because Snapchat has problems probably isn't very fair. And if we go to Meta too, it's the same story. They're not losing money. They're making money. The latest one, they made $39 billion. This isn't a company to compare to Snapchat. So it's just something where obviously people are going to extrapolate this and say advertisers are down for Snapchat. They have to be down for Google. People just aren't advertising. But it might not be the full story. People might be advertising, but not on Snapchat. And the earnings here, you just can't compare the companies. You can try and front run that. Probably not the greatest strategy, but maybe they're right. If advertising is down overall, then everyone suffers. But if it's not, then Google and Facebook gain pretty big amounts of money for being the platforms everyone wants to go to. So Snapchat is showing signs of struggle. They are not looking great. But although people are comparing them to Google and Facebook because of the advertising that's gone down, I don't think it's fair to do. We'll see the whole story next week when Google and Facebook report earnings and see if they report advertising down, which they very well could be, and it could be a leading indicator, but I don't think it's going to be something massive to worry about, especially in the long term with these giant companies, Google and Facebook. But for right now, Snapchat takes the reins. The panicked market is looking for things to panic at, and this is something that they can do. That's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, then we smash the like button and subscribe on the road to 1,000 subscribers. See you guys in my next video.